What's up guys, JP back at you once again, bringing you guys another video. Today's video is a 15 and 15. This is essentially a series in which I review and talk about 15 horror films in about 15 minutes. With that said, I'm going to start the timer. Let's begin. First up, we have Red Christmas. I did a full review on this film, so you can check it out on my channel. It was during the 31 Days of Horror. Very solid slasher film that stars Dee Wallace and has sort of some social commentary, not sort of, definitely has some social commentary on abortions, pro-life, pro-choice, that kind of stuff. Really solid stuff. I think I gave this one like a 7.5 out of 10. I do have the Artsploitation Blu-ray. This is the Umbrella DVD. I believe there are slight variations in the special features, or at least how they are written. I haven't checked them out to know for sure. After that, we have Stephen King's Catseye, coming to us courtesy of Umbrella Entertainment. I'm absolutely a huge fan of Stephen King's Catseye. This movie is an awesome anthology. There are 3 stories. The first one is Quitters Inc. It follows a man who's trying to quit smoking. I absolutely love this segment. It's one of my favorite anthology segments of all time. The second segment is about a guy on a ledge who is, trying to make his way around a building. Very suspenseful, pretty cool segment there. And finally, the last segment stars Drew Barrymore, and it also involves a troll that lives in her wall and is trying to, take her life force, essentially. It's all wrapped around with a cat, and the cat comes into play at the end, so it's actually a really cool anthology. 7.5 out of 10 on Stephen King's Catseye. Absolutely love Stephen King's Catseye. After that, we have the awesome, the amazing, one of my favorite horror films of all time, The Devil's Rejects, from the year 2003. The Devil's Rejects on Blu-ray, Umbrella Entertainment. I actually did not own this film at all. I actually do own it, that's a lie, but it doesn't work. I have a Blu-ray which I bought at Walmart years and years ago, back in like 2010, and it has never worked. I was really bummed about that. I bought it brand new and it just never worked. It just never played in any of my Blu-ray players, so it really bummed me out. But fortunately, now I finally have it on Blu-ray, thanks to Umbrella Entertainment, and boy, do I love The Devil's Rejects. I think it is truly one of the greatest horror films ever made. From start to finish, it is just a fantastically told narrative, with just plenty of grit and just grossness and just terrible human beings in this movie, that you kind of end up sort of liking, which is very weird. Very weird how Rob Zombie plays on your emotions towards the characters and things like that. This is one of my favorite films of all time. Of course, it would probably be, right up there with number 1, 2, or 3 in anything that came after the year 2000. It's truly a great movie. And believe it or not, I give it a 10 out of 10. After that, we have Not Quite Hollywood, the wild, untold story of Ozploitation. And this movie right here is a movie that I actually own a few times now. This is the first Blu-ray version of it that I've checked out. But yeah, this is a documentary on Australian cinema. It's basically the story of everybody making movies in Australia during the 70s and 80s. It is one of the best documentaries that I've ever seen. The guy who made this documentary also made some other documentaries, such as, I believe, Machete Maidens, as well as the Cannon documentary. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe he was the same guy. There's also tons and tons of special features on here. You got 9 hours of bonus features. And what's really cool about a lot of the films that they talk about in this documentary, a few of them, and a lot of them, have actually been released by Umbrella. Another one coming up, which is coming out, that they talk about in here, is Fair Game, which made my top 10 of 1986. So really cool release there by Umbrella Entertainment. If you've never seen that documentary, definitely check it out. After that, we have 1 Million BC. This is one that came to us courtesy of VCI Entertainment. And this is a movie that is, it's like a Ray Harryhausen type of thing. I will say this though, it does not have a ton of animatronics or puppetry or anything like that. They do a lot of like superimposed like lizards fighting each other, which I swear to God I've seen this like stock footage of lizards fighting like many times. There are some different ones in there too though that I haven't seen before. But yeah, it's basically there's not a whole lot of dialogue in this movie. It's okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world. It took me a few watches to actually get into it. I just really wasn't feeling it. Maybe it was the lack of dialogue or something. But basically follows a couple of cavemen and cave girl as they make their way through different prehistoric things. Next up here, guys, we have Cult of Chucky, which is a day one pickup. I picked it up for the podcast, and honestly, I was really disappointed with it. I was really hyped going into it. Curse of Chucky really, was a good movie, and I was really excited for Call of Chucky, especially once I learned about the setting and the hospital, stuff like that. And then it just went off the rails for me, guys. It just went too far out in left field for my liking. Yeah, I felt like they wrote themselves into a corner. There's an extremely huge plot hole with the very concept of this movie, the concept of the reveal. It was just actually annoying. I might come around on it one day when I'm a little less annoyed that it disappointed so much, but for now, I think I gave it like a 6 out of 10. Really wasn't a huge fan of it, honestly. After that, we have Stage Fright, which is a film that is directed by Michele Soavi. I always say his name wrong, but he did Cemetery Man in The Church. Absolutely love this director, and I really love Stage Fright. There's just something about the movie that I really enjoy. Yes, there's a few things in there that don't make sense. I mean, I believe at one point they're in the upper stage, above the stage, and they go down into water, which seems like to be the basement, but they're above, so it doesn't really make a ton of sense. But I really like the owl mask, and it's just kind of a cool slasher, honestly. So yeah, I really like Stage Fright. I think I came in at like an 8 out of 10 on this one. After that, we have Wes Craven's Summer of Fear. This one was Doppelganger releasing. They're going to be releasing some Argento titles like Opera and a couple of films he produced like The Church. But yeah, this is a awesome made-for-TV movie involving witchcraft. It stars Linda Blair. The Blu-ray transfer is actually really good. I was super surprised with the quality of the transfer because it is a TV movie, and every time I've seen this movie, it didn't have the greatest transfer. Like, I even think the Summer of Fear DVD that I own is not the best transfer. I think this film also goes under the title Stranger in Our House. So if you've never seen it, I highly recommend picking it up and checking it out. It's definitely a Wes Craven film that's a little underrated. Like, not many people talk about it. Not many people have seen it. It's definitely a awesome watch. There actually is an audio commentary with Wes Craven on here that was recorded way back in the day when the original Lionsgate DVD came out. So if you've never seen a Summer of Fear, then, check it out. I definitely recommend it. After that, guys, this is just something else, man. This is Puppet Master: The Legacy. And Puppet Master: The Legacy, this is a movie that is essentially a clip show. It follows Andre Toulon as he sort of reminisces on things that have happened in the Puppet Master universe. It doesn't flow well at all. I'd probably, honestly, if I had to guess, I would probably say it's like 75% clip show, which is just awful. It's barely a film in the series. I remember when I originally watched these movies and I marathoned them. I watched all of the previous films, which I believe this is Puppet Master 8. So I watched the previous 7, and then all of a sudden this one came up. So after I watched those 7, I pretty much watched pieces of those 7 again. So it was like really the worst time to watch Puppet Master: The Legacy. But since it's been forever since I've seen any of the Puppet Master movies, a little more interesting, I would say, that it is. So Puppet Master: The Legacy, not a good Puppet Master at all. It's a clip show. What do you expect? After that, we have Barbara Hershey in The Entity, and this movie is amazing up until the end. This movie, the first time that I watched it, man, it was just intense. It follows a woman who begins being raped by a ghost it is insane. Like, I remember just the music, the doom, doom, this like thumping sound, and just, it's just brutal, you know? And everything about this movie is really, really good up until the end, which is very sort of disappointing. It kind of just goes a little too wonky and, you know, a little bit too cheese factor towards the end, which this type of movie does not belong. None of that belongs in this type of movie. Yeah, so the ending is a little bit disappointing, but overall, pretty damn good movie. After that, we have Dick Moss's The Lift. And this was a movie that I've actually seen before. It came out in the year, I believe, 1983. And I've seen this before because for whatever reason, I don't know if we were doing like Spanish horror or not. This isn't actually Spanish. It's like Dutch or something, I believe. I can't really remember. But there was it was like foreign horror. It was something, or like it might have been like Killer Machine Week or something. And we were supposed to review like weird movies that are killer machines or foreign movies. I don't know. Anyway, I stumbled across this one on YouTube one night, and I decided to watch it, and I thought it was like super bad. Watching it this time, I actually really enjoyed it. It's a cheesy, fun time, but it's actually really, really solid. Like it's a fun movie. It runs a little too long. I will say that, just a little too long with this one. But you know, it's elevator horror. You can't really expect that it's gonna knock your socks off or anything like that. But I had fun with it. I'd probably come in at like a 7, like a 7 on that one. After that, we have Down, which is the remake by Dick Moss, starring Naomi Watts. This one, to me, guys, it was just boring. Like, it is a much better directed film. Like the quality, the set pieces, the budget, the acting, like everything is amped up. Yet somehow there was no like heart or like soul to it. It just didn't feel entertaining, and it was goddamn too long too. It was way too long. I was really annoyed at the length of this movie. It was like 2 hours, you know. And I really do not think that this film needs to be that long. Neither did, you know, this one, which is near that length, you know, maybe a little bit shorter. But, yeah, this one, I couldn't really get into this one as much. I came in lower at 6.5, which is crazy because it's a much better quality film. After that, we have Annabelle Creation, and this movie I had a blast with. I honestly think that this is close to making my top 10 at this point, guys. When I seen it in the theater, it was so much fun, and it's still a movie that I'm still thinking about. And I don't know, it just to me it was kind of scary. I thought the scares actually worked. I had really low expectations, but this movie holds up, man. It's a movie that after you watch it, you still kind of enjoy thinking about. You know what I mean? I definitely find that this movie, I like the setting a lot too, and Annabelle's really creepy. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen the first Annabelle, so it's like really weird to sort of talk about this movie when I've never seen the other one, which I'm gonna eventually see. But I really like the Conjuring universe, so big ups to Annabelle. I think I came in at like an 8 out of 10 on this one. Very, very surprising watch. After that, we have Children of the Corn. This is the awesome Arrow Blu-ray edition, which has tons and tons of special features. I give Arrow a lot of crap for their covers, but I actually really like this slipcover on here. Even the regular cover is pretty cool, but I really dig this slipcover. I think that it looks great. It has like a metallic look to it almost, which is really nice. I'm kind of just taken back by this slipcover just now. I never really looked at it, but it is a great slipcover. I watched this one on Devil's Night. Like I was editing a podcast, and I just was like, I want something, comforting, something that I grew up on, and I decided to pop in Children of the Corn, man. And honestly, like the atmosphere was like perfect for that night. Like it just really worked for me, and I really enjoyed Children of the Corn. It was a fantastic watch. It's a little dated and boring for some people, but I really enjoyed it. That's a solid 8 out of 10. After that, we have Demon Wind. This was a title that I had so much fun with. It's like the Evil Dead meets like Demon Knight, you know. It's like a siege type narrative, but it has like that possession quality of like an Evil Dead. It's a Vinegar Syndrome title, which I've really been into lately. You know, I watched a lot of them for the 31 Days of Horror, and I'm just in love with this company. They put out such awesome content. And the movie is very gory. It's very fun. You know, it's perfect. I've seen this movie before. Forgot to mention that. I've 100% seen this movie before. I don't know if it had to be on VHS. That's the only. It had to be when I was a real little kid, or else I would remember it. But I just remember specific things about it, like some of the demons and things like that. But yeah, so I've seen this movie before. It's been, you know, probably like 19-20 years or something, man. But yeah, so Demon Wind, pretty fun, 7 out of 10. I guess we're gonna have to wrap it up here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this nice little 15 and 15. See you guys next time with another video. Peace.